Okay, so we are here today with Mr. Josiah Thomas Jr., known to many as Sonny, and you have a very rich legacy in Person County, and you have been involved in many things in the community. Currently, you serve as a magistrate in Person County. You've also been a substitute teacher for more than 20 years. As well, you have been an official with youth sports. You are a member of the Newborn Riders, member of the local chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, Beta Phi chapter, and a businessman. So we just want to talk about all the things that you're involved in, talk about your life here in Person County, and the legacy that you have picked up and the legacy that you are leaving behind. And speaking of the legacy that you have picked up, we know that you have deep roots here with your parents and the work of your grandparents even. So normally we start off discussing your childhood in Person County, but today we're going to start off discussing your roots, your grandparents and your parents.
Okay, well, I like to start out by saying that George Washington Thomas was my grandfather. And if there was ever anyone that I could meet, he would be the person that I would love to have met. I never knew him. He passed away in 1954. He had an inoperable brain tumor, to my knowledge. And if I could ever meet anyone on this earth, that's one person that I wish I could have met. From what I've been told and what my dad told me, he was a innovator. He had ideas of how he wanted our community, the Lawson Chapel community, to be what he wanted it to grow into. My grandfather early on started, I would call it like a co-op, in which he and other farmers in the area were able to purchase land through a grant, a federal grant. And he and these other farmers, folks in the community, were able to get property. And through this, I'll call it a co-op that they formed, other citizens here in the area were able to purchase land through them, and it just helped the whole community develop. The store down on the corner here, he and some others built and opened that business. That store also served as an elementary school. I was in business in that store building for about 9 years, and I had many people from the community stop through and tell me, I used to go to school here. And one lady was walking around in the back and ended up leaving with a school desk that was still back there. And I was happy to let her have it. But my grandfather was also a minister. He was a college graduate, a minister. He did most of his ministering was involved in Granville County, because I believe he was originally from Granville County. And through his churches, he may have had 3 or 4 churches at the same time, because at that time, churches didn't go to church every Sunday. And so he pastored 3, 4 churches at the same time. He was also instrumental in the organization of the East Cedar Grove Church Association. He and others, the Smith Thomas building, where the East Cedar Grove Association has its meetings, they built that facility. And it has been in use for many, many years. And it's still in use. He was just somebody that I truly wish I could have met. He was a leader, a wonderful leader. I believe he was a wise man. And the things he taught my dad taught me. One of the most important things, I believe, is your reputation. In order to have a good reputation, you have to be a good person. You have to try to be a good person. And to this day, it's very important to me how I'm perceived in this community. As being an honest person, a trustworthy person. And that's just very important to me. And as far as my grandfather goes, I'm just proud to know that I'm his. My parents, Josiah Thomas Sr., he grew up here in Person County. He attended Person County schools. But my grandmother was stricken with Parkinson's disease at an early age. And my father and my aunt, his sister, they attended boarding school in Granville County to start with. I believe the name of the place was Mary Potter. And then they later attended a boarding school over in Castalia, North Carolina. I can't recall the name of it right now, but it's on 70 in Castalia. And later on, after leaving there, he attended Shaw University, and he started his teaching career in Vance County. And he met my mother in Vance County, and they married. My mother is from Edenton, North Carolina, and her father was an educator. And as I said earlier, my grandfather was one person that I wish I could meet. And my mother's father, my other grandfather, was one person who I wish and strive to have his temperament. The man never got angry or out of whack about anything, ever. And I did meet him, I did know him. And he was just even-toned. Things could be falling down all around him, but I never saw him lose his composure. And he was a Christian man. And that's the life he led. So that's what I can say about my parents.